Now living with my parents, it hit me hard that my marriage, which I thought would bring happiness, was a sham. My husband, whom I trusted, was using me, and I felt betrayed by my in-laws. They seemed unaware of the realities of life. Facing the threat of being kicked out, I questioned the essence of family with these people. The decision was clear. I needed to take control quickly. I reached out to everyone and started planning the next chapter of my life. I arranged for a service to pick up the household items the next day. The furniture and appliances were taken away, which caused a panicked reaction from my husband. I am Linda Blair, a 37-year-old woman working from home since college. Despite a monthly commute, I am a full-time employee thanks to my accommodating company. A motorcycle accident during college left my legs disabled, confining me to a wheelchair. Despite ongoing rehabilitation, improvement seemed unlikely. I accepted my condition and initially thought I would be single forever. However, a blind date set up by friends rekindled my desire for companionship. I met James, my now husband, who, despite being 6 years older, had a youthful energy. His straightforward demeanor, though sometimes rude, intrigued me. James's genuine curiosity about my life in a wheelchair made me feel seen and understood. As we continued dating, I believed happiness awaited me with James and eagerly accepted his proposal after 5 months. Immediately after our marriage, things changed unexpectedly. James and I moved into my standalone house, which was a rental but very wheelchair-friendly. The previous tenant had made it accessible, and James liked the spaciousness. I spent a lot of time at home, so I naturally did most of the housework. Sometimes when I asked James for help, he would claim he was too tired and refused to assist, even when I needed help in the bath. I managed on my own, but it took longer, and I missed the days when a caregiver visited twice a week. My frustrations grew as James ignored my requests to put away bath items, making everything take even more time. James didn't understand that the house was designed for my needs. It became clear that James was more attracted to the house and my ability to handle chores despite my disability. His unemployment and constant partying strained our relationship even more. While it was heartbreaking, I clung to the hope that our marriage had some love. Financial issues arose as James increasingly relied on me for money. Seeking advice from his mother only brought biased support, leaving me feeling lost. My friends dismissed my concerns, pointing out James's charming facade. James's unpredictable behavior, especially when drunk, pushed me to my limits. I struggled with whether to endure the situation or face a future alone. Just as I began to seriously consider divorce, James suggested living with his parents. I was stunned to learn he wanted them to move into our place. I understood the desire to be near aging parents, but they were in good health, making the idea confusing. I couldn't understand why James's parents needed to move in with us. Our home would be cramped with 5 people, and since I work from home, it would be very inconvenient. You're always thinking about yourself, huh? I never thought you were this selfish, James accused. I'm just questioning why they need to move here when they have their own place. Our home is more spacious, modern, and equipped with conveniences for elders. If James's parents move in, I'd have to be on my toes during work hours while James is rarely home. His retired parents would likely be around a lot, sharing the bathroom and kitchen. I'm slower than most people and foresee the challenges of such a living situation, I explained. I need some time to think, I said. You better hurry up. We don't have much time, James replied. Despite saying that by the weekend, he brought his parents over, making me think they had planned this move for a while. You know, I've been thinking, maybe you should consider a facility, James's mother suggested. What? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. A facility for me. Yeah, it's a good idea, right? You have your own limits, and in a facility, they take care of everything. It became clear that James wasn't just thinking about moving his parents in. He was also considering sending me away. I'd visit you from time to time, James added. That statement woke me up. If not now, then when, James? What am I to you? Your wife, right? Would you really tell your wife to go to a facility? Hold on, When did I say I love you, Linda? James's words made me furious. This guy was using me. Wasn't it my fault for letting it get to this point? I had to draw a line. Then James said something even more shocking. In this house, I'm going to live with my parents. You, an outsider, can go live in some cheap facility. What did you just say? I looked to his parents, hoping for support, but they just grinned eerily. Why are you laughing? What's the big deal? Were they targeting my home even before our marriage? Things were escalating too fast. I needed to get them out of my house. Please leave. Leave now. How can you talk to my parents like that? James yelled at me furiously. If he cared so much for his parents, why didn't he earn his own money and build them a house? Why did he have to take mine? My head felt like it was on fire. It's okay, James. Linda must have been shocked since we came unexpectedly, his mother said. We just came to check the place today. Yeah, we need to check before moving in. Looks like there are more appliances than last time. Seems comfy to live in, his parents said. They were genuinely here to take over my home. Trying to calm myself, I took a deep breath. A sudden question lingered in my mind. If I leave, how are they planning to sustain themselves? His parents rely on a pension, and James is just a part-timer. I'm covering all the rent and living expenses. Who's going to handle the $4,500 monthly payment? Do his parents think James is covering the living expenses? Ignoring my concerns, his parents cheerfully left, with James following them. I'm going to stay at my parents' tonight. Hold on, we need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. I, the man of the house, have decided. I won't change my mind. Left alone and shocked, I quickly contacted a real estate agent I knew. When James returned the next day, he saw the packed belongings and chuckled. Oh, started packing? Found a place already? Yes, I have, I replied. James seemed genuinely surprised by my swift response. And here's the card of a divorce lawyer. From now on, let's communicate through the lawyer and divorce. Why? If you're kicking me out, there's no point in being married anymore, right? James looked as if he had been hit by a ton of bricks. He hadn't expected me to mention divorce so quickly. You can't live without me, right? Who else would marry you? I can live on my own. But you said you wanted to get married, I replied. It was then that I realized how arrogant and overconfident James had been. He thought I was a lonely, disabled woman who would never leave. But I am independent, have money, and manage my life just fine. I do all the chores for him, and he thought I wouldn't leave because I couldn't find anyone else. That's why he was shocked when I brought up divorce. If you divorce me, you might be single for the rest of your life. Well, if it means living a married life with you, I'd rather be single forever. Whether I spend the rest of my life alone isn't for you to decide. The typically submissive me was now fighting back, and James was getting flustered. I could tell he was panicking. I never thought he was such a weak man. I don't know why I had been putting up with him for so long. Once I decided on the divorce, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I guess I was too focused on getting married anyway. You don't have to move out right away. I didn't mean to rush you into a facility so soon. Oh, it's fine. I'll do as you wish. Don't worry, you won't find a place that fast. Think it over, okay? I've already secured a place, so it's all right. Wait a minute, isn't this too soon? Watching James's attitude shift from smugness to panic only heightened my irritation. Calmly, I prepared for the next steps. I explained the facility staff knows about my situation, so everything's fine. Wait, when did you even set all this up? Were you preparing all along? James questioned. Yes, even before I met you. I had been thinking about my retirement and found a facility that's more like a condo. After an injury during my hospital stay, I got into investment books and diversified my investments with my salary and my parents' inheritance. I bought the condo I had my eye on and have been renting it out for income. I never mentioned this to you. It's my hidden asset. We don't need to get a divorce. I get it, you can stay here, and we can live with my parents. Do you not get it? Why would I ever do that? He seemed dense, even after I brought up divorce. He still believed he was the only one for me. Sorry, but my mind's made up. What's your problem? You're so selfish. If you come crying back later, it's not my problem. I won't be, so don't worry. James fell silent, deep in thought. During that time, I started packing my things. Then I heard James making a phone call, likely to his parents. It seemed pathetic, relying on them for such decisions. Eventually, James approached me. Fine, we'll get a divorce. Just leave quickly, James said begrudgingly, maybe realizing he might miss having me around as a housemaid. He probably thought that living with his parents would save him from household chores. He headed back to his parents' home. I'm going to talk to my folks about what's next. Get ready to move out quickly. Yes, I'll do that. I finished moving all my stuff within a week, and during that time, James never showed up. We met again the day after the move was done. As I was starting my new life in my new house, James called me outside. Hey, what's going on? This place is almost empty. Where are the appliances? I had a service pick up those items for me. I called the service the next day and had them collect all the furniture and appliances. James became agitated and started grumbling. Not only James but also his parents were there. All the appliances here were bought by me. They are all from when I was single. The only thing that's yours is right there. I pointed to 4 cardboard boxes. I did leave the clear clothing container we bought after marriage. Linda, we can't live like this. We need to split the property if we're divorcing, James said. That's right. We can't live here like this, James's mother added. What are you talking about? Nobody can live here. What do you mean? The rent's $5,000, I said. James and his parents were stunned. I told James when we got married that this isn't my own house. No, it isn't. I got a discount on the rent because I asked a real estate agent I know. If I move out, the rent will go up even more. This place has disability access, and I've already received several inquiries from people who need it. I recommend you move out. Why didn't you tell us sooner? What are we going to do now? James's mother was visibly upset. I don't know. I did tell James. I didn't hear about it. I'll sue you, James threatened. I saw that coming. From an outsider's perspective, it might look like I selfishly got a divorce, broke the lease, and took all the furniture and appliances, but I'm sure. You can sue, but do you even have the money for it? James's face twisted. He couldn't afford a lawyer. Even if he could, I had an ace up my sleeve. I showed them some pictures. When did you take these? The pictures showed James's gambling and with other women. I spent my money on this. I'm ready to use these in court, James. What the hell? I thought everything was going well. His parents were particularly upset. What's going on? James suddenly started to apologize. I'm sorry. Please come back. I need you, Linda. You're the one who kicked me out. We're already divorcing, so what are you talking about? Besides, you don't love me, do you? If that's the case, I'll just leave then, James said. This time, even his parents began to apologize alongside him. We don't have a place to live anymore, James's father said. What do you mean? I asked. Our house got foreclosed on. We've gone bankrupt. The debt his father accumulated grew too big to handle. James, who used to get an allowance from his parents when he was single, probably thought he was in trouble and decided to get married, hoping for support. Now I understand why his mother was so kind before we got married. I can't help you now. We're strangers, I said. Even if my folks and I end up homeless, are you okay with that? James asked. You brought it on yourself, didn't you? James's ulterior motive was clear as day. I firmly told him. I had no intention of giving him any furniture or electronics. Please don't say that. Have some mercy, James pleaded. It's too late for apologies now. Sort it out on your own, I replied. That's why I'm asking. I can't sort it out, James insisted. I told James and his father that if they couldn't pay the rent, they should move out. The lease was in my name, so I could cancel it any time, making eviction easy. Even if the lease was transferred, James probably couldn't afford to live there. I heard all this from the real estate agent. I can't pay the rent, James admitted. In the end, I decided to cancel the lease. I no longer needed the place, and with the divorce finalized, everything was over. I kicked out the stunned family and locked the door. What are we going to do now? James's father asked. I can move into a facility. Goodbye, I said. Facilities like that probably have no freedom and are the worst, right? Good luck in that crappy environment, James spat bitterly, clearly unsatisfied with not having the last word. I ignored him and his parents and left. A few days later, James showed up at the facility where I had moved. Hey, what's this about? James looked around, about to faint. It's not a crappy environment at all. It's a luxury facility worth $3 million. I had saved up money and, with my investment earnings, bought this place. The previous occupant left at the perfect time, so I moved in immediately. With the sale of my house and some extra income, I still have plenty left over. This facility is top-notch, with doctors and helpers on site. The floor plan is just like an apartment, with plenty of privacy. The room is a 2-bedroom, so families can live together. There are even couples and families living here. I can call a helper with the push of a button, and there's assisted bathing every day. I originally thought of this as my final residence, but I'm glad I made the move. You had this much money? Then why? I really don't want you coming all the way here. We're strangers now. Please leave. James suddenly started acting sweet towards me. Can't you just let me live here? What are you talking about? That's impossible. We're divorced. Face reality. That's why let's get remarried. I'm living in a motel now. Isn't that pitiful? I can't get a job because I cut him off. That's your problem, James. Goodbye. I don't have an address at the motel, James said, trying to sound smooth. It was clear he had quickly abandoned his own parents. He only thinks about himself. Why don't you take a look in the mirror? You look pathetic, living off your parents at your age, becoming a freeloader after marriage, and now begging on the streets, I said. James's face turned bright red. You're not ashamed to be clinging to your ex-wife? Look, everyone's watching, I pointed out. Residents peeking from their balconies were watching. I had asked them to look out if my ex-husband came to visit. I knew James would come looking for me at least once, either to gloat or to beg. The residents were very cooperative and looked at James with pity. It was like a real-life drama. I wanted to applaud them. James finally noticed the stares and realized how embarrassing he was being. I won't ask any more, he muttered and disappeared. I don't think he'll come here again. Later, when I went out, I ran into my mother-in-law working at a supermarket checkout. My father-in-law was a janitor, and my mother-in-law was a cashier. As soon as my mother-in-law saw me, she turned her face and tried to hide. She was being scolded by a young employee for her attitude. James had apparently found a low-paying job through someone he met at the motel cafe. I frequently host home parties and live happily every day with people from the same facility. I also became good friends with other wheelchair users. If I had known such a community existed, I would have moved here sooner. I found time to attend physical therapy sessions, and my current goal is to get my legs moving on my own. I lead a fulfilling life both at work and in private.